Oh, hey there! It's me, Stephanie. I am here to do a practice video. I realized it's been a while since I really talked about what I do to warm up, and things have changed since last time, so I thought I would share that with you. I'm also going to be sharing what I'm working on today, and it's going to be a little bit of a different format. I wanted to share a little bit of what I do in order to get my body prepared to practice because I don't talk about this a lot, but there is a little bit of a routine that I go through. First of all, I get home from work and I immediately take off my pants and I put on comfy pants because why would you ever be at home wearing jeans? I'm in my studio-ish room. You don't really get to see this very often, but I do some stretches, so I'll show you what I do. Now what I do is very much based off of a yoga practice. I like to start with my legs up the wall. This helps to relieve a lot of the tension that builds up in my abdominals as I do spend most of the day standing as a teacher. After that, I like to bring in my knees to my chest to stretch out my hips. And I think about breathing into the tension, any place where there's tension in my hips, and just to kind of iron that out. After that, I think about stretching the sides of my hips. So I'll do this kind of twist, which really helps to open up the outer hips. I think about stretching my foundation, making sure that is open so that I can best support my playing. This is really, really important to me as I really want to use all the power I have to get a good sound. And at this point, I have a little visitor. This is Gabby. She usually likes to hang out with me as I stretch. I go into reclining cobbler's pose, and that helps to open up the front part of my pelvis. This usually takes me about 5 to 10 minutes. This is obviously an abbreviated portion to show you. I also like to think about massaging my jaw so that I can move it as needed for trumpet playing. After I stretch my body a little bit, I work on noticing my breath, and this comes back to a mindful practice. Making sure that I am breathing to my full capacity and just noticing what happens and where things feel a little tense. And I use my mouthpiece to do it. My trumpet teacher is trying to teach me about not blowing into the mouthpiece, but just breathing out through it. It's a little lost in translation because my palate is shaped kind of differently, so I do what I can. And it's really important not to force it to be any certain type of way. Right now we're just kind of getting the feeling of how your breath is. I spend a little bit of time doing that when I'm on the floor stretching, and I spend a little bit of time doing that, leaning against the wall like that. And then I also spend a little bit of time like that when I'm seated and have the instrument in my hand. Now while I'm comfy, I just want to show you a little bit of what I do when I buzz my mouthpiece. I've been starting on a concert F and playing a long tone there, and then I'm focusing on the connection, on the glissando between the F and the B flat above it. I'm focusing on making the connection and keeping it supported throughout. So watch. And then I do that in all 7 positions. I just have a very good chromatic memory. I just continue on through all 7 positions, noticing where things feel different, and if I feel like it's necessary to repeat myself, I do. After I've completed my sequence going up, I start going down. So I go from the concert F down to the concert B flat. This is actually a little bit harder for me. I don't know how it is for other people, but it takes a lot of support for me to go from F to B flat and being able to maintain that consistent airstream. So that's about what I do for mouthpiece buzzing. It's kind of nice. It's a way to get my mind on what is physically happening without worrying too much about what's happening in an instrument. Now after I work on my mouthpiece buzzing, I do a little bit of Schlossberg, which is a very good book for, warming up and stuff. What I'm focusing on again is connections and airflow. And I'm just working on making sure the transition between each interval is as smooth as possible. So my favorite one to warm up on right now is 13. My teacher really likes to do 18, so I'll do a little bit of that for you, because I also enjoy it. You might be noticing that the bottom note of each partial is sounding a little bit, it's a little bit on the blatty side. I've also very much noticed this myself, so don't worry, I am aware. My teacher has explained to me that when I'm relearning how to use my air in this way, that is going to happen. And eventually my face is going to feel its way through and figure out how to get that sounding good again. I'm using air in a different way than I have before, so that's why my sound changed. I've been getting bored of the scales in the Arbens book, so I've been doing the scales in the Schlossberg book, and they're just a little different and just weird enough to keep me on my toes. I usually start with the first one, 89. Project in this book is number 99. I'm not incredibly versed in the above G above the staff range. Like I've played the notes reliably before, but practicing these scales has made me realize that I am really not as fluent in that as I should be. So I like 99 because the last scale of it goes up there and then it goes down. I just don't have those under my fingers as well as I have the lower scales, so it's nice to have this exercise. I'll play a little bit for you. So the last one I'm just not super versed at, so of course, like any good practicer, you take the thing that you're not good at and you work on that specific thing. And then I just did the same thing in all the other ones, just the last one on all the other ones. So here's B major. Book because even though it's challenging, when I finally sound good, it's like, oh, wow, I sound good. It's really, really nice. It doesn't feel impossible. Unlike some of the Arvin's things where like the triple tonguing, I am just still terrible at. I'm just like, every single time, it's just very, very slow progress on triple tonguing. But it's happening. It's just gonna be a while before it sounds good. And that is basically my warm-up. It has been, I have no idea how much time it has been. But then I will probably start to practice my triple tonguing. I am working on number 2 of the Charlier and number 2 of the Bourdonnais. I think I will make a separate recording of my progress on the Bourdonnais sometime next week. Also, in terms of non-trumpety things, I am doing a collaboration with Slippery Fish, so you'll see that soon. I do play the flugelhorn in that. It's going to be fun. I'm also doing a song swap with Catfish Jones, so to keep a lookout for that. It'll be sometime around next Friday. And of course, all the songs and all the Sunday streams. Now, in terms of these trumpet videos, please do let me know if this helps you. Please do let me know what kinds of things specifically help you, because I love to make these videos as well, but I want to make sure that people are finding value in them and watching them and enjoying them. So please give me feedback on that. I feel like I do have something unique to offer with the trumpet, and you know, the fun things are fun, and of course we love to listen to songs, but I also am an academic musician, and if you find value in what I'm teaching in that aspect, I do want to know. Please let me know so I can best serve you as my viewer. Until next time, stay mindful, stay musical, and stay out of trouble.